Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? What we're going to be talking about right now is something that a few of you have sent me, and obviously it's extremely important to you, so in turn it is extremely important to me, okay? So I want to talk about this. And what I'm going to do is, for the first time, I'm going to point my camera at my screen so you could see what I'm reading, all right? And this is what the article, okay, is titled, is Chemtrails Task Force Busted. DARPA plot to spray mRNA bioweapon across the U.S. So I had briefly talked about this because there was some kind of a plot, or whatever you want to call it, for July 4th, that they were supposed to take many lives on that day and stuff like that. And I said, well, how do they think they're going to do that? You know, with fireworks, and then the residuals of the ash that comes out for the fireworks, is it all going to, you know, is that how they're going to do it? So now what I'm going to do, hang on, I'm going to, oh, the cord just got, how are you, wrapped from my tablet around the legs of my camera. So I'm going to, I'm a mess. Yeah, I'm always a mess. I'm going to now point you toward my screen so you could see what I'm reading, okay? And this is so you could see exactly what I'm reading, because I don't want there to be like any well, what's her source? What is she reading from? You know what I mean? So now I'm going to switch you over, okay? And you guys are going to see everything that I'm seeing, okay? So hang on just a second. All right. Here we are, right here. All right. So it says RFK, his Convert Chemtrail Task Force, operating out of the Department of Health and Human Services, just pulled off another high-stakes intervention. According to insiders, the team uncovered and dismantled a classified operation that was preparing to release an aerosol bioweapon across the United States. Now, aerosol, when I saw that, I said, well, could it have been with the fireworks, right? Either by people going to fireworks shows, or when people go to those fireworks tents and they buy the fireworks, that type of thing. So then it goes on to say, this wasn't some last minute scheme. The plot had been in motion for years, carefully wargamed in a scenario eerily similar to Event 201. The goal, and with 201, let's look that up really quick. Let's see if we could find anything, okay? So let's Google. Johns Hopkins Center. What is our event ID 201? Event 201. Why weren't we paying attention? Okay, this is dated from March 25th, 2020. Why weren't we paying attention? 6 months ago, 15 global businesses, government, and public health leaders spent 3.5 hours on a tabletop exercise called Event 201, organized in part by the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security. It simulated an outbreak of novel, Mr. 19, that led to the pandemic. Okay, the event was live casted and ended with 7 recommendations. The proceedings were captured on video, and together with the recommendations are still available on the Event 201 website. There's a website. Click. Wow. Okay. WEF. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. They hosted the Event 201. Say no more. Okay, so The goal, mass casualties, chaos, and cover up on July 4th. That's why I had said about fireworks, right? So the projected toll was a staggering 280,000 Americans within hours, countless more to follow in the months and years ahead. And the public, they were never supposed to know the truth. The event would have been blamed on a foreign adversary, likely Iran, triggering global shockwaves and possibly WW3. But thanks to a stream of classified intel from deep inside the system, the Chemtrail Task Force moved just in time and stopped the operation before it could begin. Now the question is, who is really behind it and how close did we come to this catastrophe? Earlier this year, we broke the bombshell story. RFK Jr. had quietly formed a covert Chemtrail Task Force operating deep within the Department of Health and Human Services. And while the mainstream media scrambled to dismiss it as a conspiracy theory and armies of social media shills flooded the zone with denial, we stood by the facts. This is on a website called The People's Voice. So then came to the moment that they could not ignore. RFK confirmed it on national television during his interview with Dr. Phil, and just like that, the narrative collapsed. The fact checkers went silent, don't they always? The trolls retreated to the shadows, and our sources and reporting vindicated. But that was just the beginning. The task force has been hard at work monitoring social media for geotagged information about heavy spray zones. Shadowy government departments and private foundations have been infiltrated, and now the results are speaking for themselves. According to whistleblower Dr. David Martin, July 4th was meant to be the cover for a mass casualty event. Unlike anything we've seen before, a coordinated aerial release of aerosolized bioweapon across major cities in the United States. Projected 280,000 Americans, men, women, and children. Here's the kicker. It was never meant to look like an inside job. The blame, Martin claims, was to be pinned squarely on foreign adversary, as usual. It doesn't take much to guess who the scapegoat was going to be: Iran. This wasn't just about poisoning the air, water, soil we need for life. It was about global chaos and escalation, about lighting the fuse for global conflict, World War III, engineering by the same elite interests that profit from destruction, division, and death. Because for them, war isn't tragedy, it's strategy. Well, right, because it makes money. So, while the mainstream media keeps you distracted with celebrity scandals and political theater, what have these shady operators really been up to behind the curtain of silence and state-sanctioned anonymity? The answer is chilling. Your government, using your tax dollars, has been quietly funding research into the very kind of bioweapons we were warning you about, not just aerosolized agents, but something even more disturbing: self-spreading arm tickets. You sons of bitches. They were engineered to behave like viruses, to replicate, to evolve, to spread from person to person without consent, without control. This isn't speculation. It's not theory. We have the documents. Well, where are they? The grants, the patents, the contracts. They've been planning this for years, and now they're trying to turn the key. Those who play God are doing the devil's work. Yeah, no kidding. And in the case of this plot against the people, that's not exaggeration. It's cold, brutal truth. Because anyone willing to release this on innocent civilians isn't just corrupt, they're evil. To them, we're not citizens, we're test subjects, useless eaters. Oh, where have we heard that term before? Gee whiz, I've used it. So collateral damage. But even the powerful have a weakness, and that's exactly how the Chemtrails Task Force stopped the July 4th attack before it could unfold. Summer has been hijacked across the United States, the UK, and much of Europe. What should be a season of clear skies and warm light has been obliterated by relentless geoengineering and coordinated spring operations orchestrated by globalist forces. Just look at Florida, the so-called Sunshine State. Wait a minute. Okay, instead of blue skies, there's milky white haze, thick with aerosol. Summer fog that never burns off. Heavy, suffocated atmosphere that feels anything but natural. That's not true. Have you looked at our skies here in Florida? That's not true. It's literally clear skies all the time, with the exception of when we have thunderstorms, which is like every other day. But then again, we're in hurricane season, so we're gonna have that all the time. What the heck? Anywho's, it's back to business. So it says reports are in flooding, headaches, fatigue, respiratory distress, mystery summer flu sweeping through communities. Summer flu, that's so common. That's been going on for decades. And headaches, that's because of the pressure in the atmosphere from the thunderstorms. Oh, and fatigue is because if you're outside too long with the heat, you get tired. Oh my God. Coincidence or fallout? For those still clinging to the official narrative, here's a question you need to answer. How do you explain the footage? Video after video shows it clear as day. The difference between ordinary jet condensation trails, which vanish quickly, and something else entirely, thick, lingering trails sprayed from aircraft at high altitude, spreading quickly, expanding, eventually forming that all too familiar milky white haze that settles on top of us and destroys life as we know it. Do they even live in Florida? Because they're not seeing what I'm seeing. These criminals aren't hiding in the shadows anymore. They're operating in plain sight, poisoning our skies in impunity. The chemtrail task force did everything in its power to stop July 4th plot, but they didn't do it alone. The breakthrough came from the outside. An Indigo pilot, part of the secret military unit behind daily aerosol operations, finally spoke out. He confessed he never truly understood the purpose of the missions. They told him it was for the greater good, classified above his pay grade. But something didn't add up, so he dug deeper, went undercover, did his own research, and what he discovered changed everything. He realized the operations weren't protecting anyone. They were poisoning the public, and no amount of money, even the premium pay for spray flights, couldn't justify continuing, so he walked away. That's why South Carolina Representative Lee Gilreath is making a bold appeal directly to the insiders. He's calling on more Indigo pilots to come forward to break the silence, to form a critical mass and blow the whistle on this covert campaign of contamination, because the only way this ends is if the truth gets out. Across the country, state legislatures are finally taking a stand, introducing bills and resolutions to disrupt the operations behind geoengineering and atmospheric spraying. But here's the catch. State law only goes so far. It doesn't reach the altitudes where these pilots operate, just outside the boundaries of state jurisdiction, but well within the line of sight. Still, the states are refusing to stay silent. In Florida, officials are encouraging residents to report suspected geoengineering activity. They want evidence, photo, flight patterns, satellite tracking data, even lab results from rainwater or soil samples. I never heard of that. Because the more documentation we gather, the harder it becomes for them to deny what's happening. If you see something, record it. If you can prove it, report it. This fight isn't just in the skies anymore. It's on record, because the elites are so arrogant. They are longer hiding it. In fact, they're bragging. They now claim that geoengineering, what we've long called chemtrails, is so cheap and effective they can afford to play God and reshape the entire planet in their own image, block out the sun, cool the atmosphere, trigger a controlled climate collapse, even a mini ice age. If this isn't the moment to wake up, then one is. They're counting on the public reacting just like they did during the Rona playbook, scared, obedient, unquestioning. We got news for them. This never is going to happen again. RFK Jr. is vowed to stop this crime and hold the perpetrators to account. It's our job to ensure he sees promise through to the very end. Okay. I don't know. When it comes to the stuff that they were saying about Florida, you guys know I live in Tampa. There is nothing, and I mean nothing. There's no heavy smog or anything like that. I don't know where they're getting their information from. For the past few days, we've had bad like thunderstorms and stuff like that. But then again, like I said, we are in hurricane season. This is normal for us. Okay. But when we do have a clear sky, it's literally a clear sky. Have I seen chemtrails? No. And I go outside a lot because I have 3 dogs, you know, so I'm out back with them and stuff like that. So I don't know where they're getting their information from. I don't know what they're talking about. When they said that, you know, the state of Florida is asking for samples of our soil and stuff like that, I never heard about that. Nothing was ever said. So I'm not sure where this is coming from. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. Maybe they know something that I don't. I don't know. But a heavy, suffocating atmosphere, not at all. Summer fog that never burns off, not at all. Nope. Not where we are. I don't know what they're talking about. So, anyway. But I wanted to thank you guys for sending me this. You know, it was insightful. But what they're saying about Florida, no, not at all. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I will see you in the next one, okay? You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping. And as always, fear less and God bless.